continue in the 20th letter with the notion of creation something from nothing, which gives us the substantial yesh, a something, coming from nothing, beyond comprehension, beyond our experience of no thing, of God, of the Ein Sof, conduit through the 10 attributes, specifically Malchus, because Malchus is the last of the 10 and it actually has nothing of its own. It's like this, like the moon. It becomes a conduit, just like the 10 attributes are conduits for the Ein Sof. Malchus is a conduit for all of the 9 attributes beyond it. And specifically, what's the conduit? That can be a container, is a vessel. Ooh, the vessel aspect, not the light aspect of Malchus, of Atzilus. The 30 components of the vessel, as we explained previously, are now empowered to now create a something, a physical entity. The body of angels, not the physical body, but the spiritual body of angels, as opposed to the spiritual part of the angels. Or more importantly, our souls. Our souls come from a union of Zah and Malchus, the male and female aspects of the divine. The emotions are male, of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Tzedakah, Chod, Yesod, and Malchus is feminine. Royalty is feminine. Concept that we've spoken a lot before. We won't get to the male-female aspect of it, but there's a union. From that union, before the soul descends into Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, but in the world of Atzilos, it's completely divine. Oh, if it's completely divine, aren't the divine attributes also divine? Mm-hmm. So aren't the divine attributes have the power to create something from nothing, as we just mentioned, Malchus, right? The vessel of Malchus in Atzilus is vested in it of the Ein Sof, of the limitlessness of God, able to, and is able now to create something from nothing. Does that mean if we're divine also, we have that power? No, we don't. Because we emerge from the vessels, the divine vessels. It's a union that emerges from the divine vessels. It's not of the divine vessels or the divine attributes. Sorry, not vessels, the attributes, but light and vessel, both. We emerge from there, so we don't have the power, but yet we're divine. Now, in the evolvement of the soul, all souls come from Atzilus, but very few of us remain souls of Atzilus. Right? Only the very lofty souls that don't go through Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, like a journey through the different worlds and pick up things of that world and therefore make it a lesser sensitive soul to the divine. Those souls that are from Atzilus, though, and kind of miss Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya in their journey down, they don't kind of pick up any of the stuff there that makes it now separate from its source. So it's part of its source even when it comes into this world of a physical body. And as a result of that, these souls, if they wanted to sin, they would die first. They would die. Why? Because the soul's so lofty that just their desire to, that soul cannot remain alive in this world. Too lofty a soul. From here we get the idea of the concept of God takes the good ones, right? Because that lofty soul, this world could not contain, that soul should anything be taken away, detracted, taken away from it through a sin. Again, very few of our souls are like that. Very, very, very few. Most of us go through the various worlds, and most of us are from the world of Asiya ultimately. But rooted in Atzilus, all the souls. Now, furthermore, in God's ability to create a substance, yesh, a something, comes from God's absolute not and nothingness. Think of the paradox. It's the ultimate paradox. A no thing that has no definition, no parameters, and it's creating something that's the antithesis of it. Something that is limited, has parameters, and is a something that feels its somethingness. It feels its being. I am. It feels its I am. Only God could create something like that. That would be the antithesis of Him. Antithesis meaning God is nothing, God has no parameters, no limitations, and God creates that which is the antithesis of Him. Nothing else can do that. So, and that antithesis is of us, is vested in the 10 divine attributes, and as we mentioned, in the vessel particular, because the vessel is the power of limitation, God's power of limitation, that then is the source of our somethingness, of our creation, of our being. All right, any questions, any comments? I spoke a lot over here. Okay, any questions on the topic? To put 2 question marks beforehand. Let's ask them now. Darren, I reflect with my known kindness of family. Does kindness have an ending? Well, kindness by definition is a limitation because it's kindness. It's chesed, it's not gevura. It's not compassion. It's not endurance, triumph. It's not humility, right? So it's got parameters, and that's everything in our lives. It has parameters, therefore has definition. Where does that all come from? It's coming from a place where there is none of that, the antithesis of it. And therefore it has to come from, as we say, something from nothing, ex nihilo. Yes, Golda, we're ready for Mashiach. Absolutely. Alan, please share with us.
Hey, good morning, Rabbi Fine.
Good morning, a good year.
And a good year to you and to everyone here. So this is really, I came in kind of midway today, but it's so exciting to me, to talk about and think about this and think about Yesh Me'ayin from something out of nothing, because it's really where science and Kabbalah and Torah really can come together in just surprising ways, I feel. This whole thing, I mean, if you speak to a physicist, they get really excited about nothing. Nothing is really, really important to a physicist. It's just like, of all the spheros, Keter is like something that physicists understand in a certain way. I mean, no one can really understand that,
Right.
But in a certain sense, they have the same awe of it that we do.
Right.
And like in physics, the study of nothing is at the core of every burning question in physics. From subatomic particles to the expansive realm of the entire cosmos. Everything basically is all properties of matter, of forces, of space, of time, are woven into this vacuum that is the ultimate nothing.
So,
it's just like,
but even a subatomic particle is still a something. It's a very flimsy something, perhaps.
but
A very
at the core
difficult
of it
to
all,
define it, maybe, but it is a
but
something.
at the core of it all is nothing.
Right.
When theorists of physics calculate the energy in nothing, they come up with enormous numbers. Energy in nothing is huge, and yet gravity doesn't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something kind of incredibly mysterious.
Exactly. That's a good word,
like,
mysterious.
it's like the ayin, the nothing, is also ani, same letters.
Right.
It's all kind of nothing and something. They're intricately related to one another.
Absolutely.
But in ways that we can't conceive.
Right. What's the uniqueness over here when we say something from nothing, right, is opposed to everything in the human experience is cause and effect. So, you measure, an atom, and you can, perhaps understand its, if you push it or you speed it up, then you'll have a certain kind of an effect, if you'll put so many of them together that it'll create something atomic, that because of the fusion of it, and so on and so forth. So all of that, though, is an effect because we understand its parameters, and therefore we can create a cause that has an effect. Here we're saying it's from nothing, meaning beyond something that we can perceive and comprehend, and something that we have an experience with, and that becomes then very mysterious, like you said, mysterious. Good word.
Yeah, and nothing becomes real.
Right.
It's not it's not the way we normally think of nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we can't comprehend what nothing is, which is like so bizarre. But physicists understand this, and it's the place in science where science and Torah, a deep Torah, really converge.
Right.
And it's a surprising place. If you thought of all the spheres, which one where it could possibly converge emerge in the most incredible ways. It's way at the top, you know?
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good Gewench to your. Okay. So, Davida, when any of this changes, when Mashiach comes, well, we'll have a profound appreciation for no thing in everything. For that there's something that is beyond. We'll have an appreciation of that the material world is not something devoid of God, or like even on a religious level, you can say that you can say that the physical world can be a deterrent to serving God. A lot of the things in the physical world. Mashiach will come, not only it won't be a deterrent, but the physical world will be able to appreciate how it comes from the Amitis Hamatzui, from the true being of God Himself. Right? Not from the light of God, but from the core Ein Sof of God. So we'll have that. Now, the Alter Rebbe is giving us an intellectual exercise. It's a bit mystical and a bit mystique to understand it. Mashiach, we won't just have an understanding of it, we'll have an experience of it, which is pretty fascinating. Laurie has a question. Okay, scientists are trying to find the unifying theory, missing the divine in the theory. Seems like the missing link, divinity. Yeah, Laurie is making a good point. I think, there are scientists and there are scientists. There are scientists that the more they look into science, the more they feel that the world is void of God. And then you have scientists, the more they look into the world, the more they see that God is the reality of the world. I think in the end it depends what you want to see. Everybody sees what they want to see, believe it or not. And that's part of quantum mechanics idea. So but if you want to see the God particle, if you want to see, God's stamp, His imprint in creation, it's readily available. And here we're talking about beyond that, but beyond, in other words, we see, you can just take a leaf and you can see and understand through the botany of the leaf the unbelievable divine wisdom. But we're not talking about that, because the divine wisdom means the imprint of God's intelligence upon creation. Here we're talking about and that's how people understood before this letter, God's engagement in creation. Here we're talking about that it's coming from the Ein Sof, from the no thing of God, that is not anything definable of God, that is the source of that which is very definable, of that which is very limited. So that's a new dimension that the Alter Rebbe is introducing here.
Rabbi Fine?
Yes, Alan.
Could I mention something here having to
Sure.
do with this particular person's question, having to do with the theory of everything, So in the theory of everything, they're trying to bring together these four forces, gravity with the strong force, the weak force, and the electromagnetic force. And the problem that they've been having all this time is they can't get gravity to play well with the other forces. Gravity is the big problem. They're trying to figure out what gravity is, and science has long tried to figure it out. From Newton, he had some core idea, and then Einstein brought it up to another level. But the fact is I feel that it is basically the concept of dveikus. It's clinging. Basically, that's what it is. It's clinging to Hashem, clinging to the divine, and that is a basic principle, basically, in the universe. Everything clings together. Hydrogen clings together. That's why the universe is the way it is. So the thing is, and it will take, I think, science to understand what dveikus is, and that dveikus, in a certain sense, is very, very much related to what gravity is essentially. But, how long will it take for us to get there? I don't know. But when it happens, maybe, B'yamei HaMashiach, we will have the theory of everything.
Very good.
God willing.
God willing. Thank you. All right, amazing, beautiful. Folks, Rambam is following. The next couple of days, I'm not certain of exactly my schedule. Hopefully the Tanya class will be on schedule. And it may vary a bit in time because I'm just traveling for a couple of days. Okay. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Font. I'll keep you posted, of course. I'll keep you posted on Facebook and also on Messenger in the group. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya, starting a new year, new life, new opportunities. We're going to take Tanya to new levels. Thank you all for being a part of it. Have a wonderful day and a good gebench year, a sweet, good year, and all good things.